Hey guys, I'm gonna talk about a movie that I've been wanting to talk about for about a month now, and it's called Rotting in the Sun, and it was directed by Sebastian Silva. How I was introduced to it actually was I was at work listening to a podcast called the Movie Podcast, and the host of the show was interviewing the director of the movie Rotting in the Sun, and this movie centers around the director himself. He plays a version of himself, and this movie's really meta. Like, it is directed by Sebastian Silva, but it's also starring Sebastian Silva as Sebastian Silva, and it also stars a real life Instagram influencer named Jordan Firstman. And it's amazing. It's a really good movie. It's one of my favorite movies that I've seen this year, which was really unexpected for me. Taking that this movie's really racy. It has very sexually explicit scenes that, like, I would imagine would make me feel uncomfortable, but for some reason, it didn't really. Because the sexually explicit scenes in this movie actually serves to the story and to the characters that are in this film. It's showing you who they are, what they are, why like these extreme things are happening, and it also puts a great contrast into like the socio-political stances on like homosexuals and the rich, the poor. Like, it does this really clever thing. And it's really hard to talk about this movie because if I talk about it too much and what happens, it will spoil it for you. All I have to say is that it gets into this subject of social class in a really interesting way, and it's so cleverly structured. Like, going back to like the rich and the poor, you have this character, this maid, and it's played by an actress called Carolina Saavedra, and she's a maid for Sebastian, and like she wants to go to this party that like is a quinceañera, and she wants to go. And oh, by the way, this movie's set in Mexico City, so a lot of these characters are South American, Mexican. um so yeah, she wants to go to this quinceañera, and like, I don't know, like, Sebastian's kind of a dick, and like his friends are dicks. Like, they're all assholes, and they're so rich, and they're kind of careless. Like, they're these artists, they're these like elitist fucking artists, assholes, and they just like are very indifferent. But also it like mirrors into the society of people. You talk about like gay rights and like equal rights and all this stuff, but you never talk about like it doesn't seem like the talk of like social class is talked about. And it kind of contrasts like social class and sort of like gay society, but not really like the gay elitist people. I'm not talking about gay people in general, because that's not what this is about. It just kind of centers in these like homosexual characters who are fucking really rich, but they're just really shitty and so insulated and so careless. And you kind of center on this maid who's like, she kind of seems like very homophobic, very old school, someone that like a newer generation would consider to be like a very like unimportant or misinformed, or just kind of a lackey, like a person who's not important to today's society of how great we are, because we're not homophobic, we're not racist, and like all this bullshit. And this woman, she's just trying to get to her fucking quinceañera, and like everyone's being a fucking dick. You know what I'm saying? But there's more that happens in this movie in the context of what's going on with her, and in a way, with this maid, you feel for her, man. Like, even in the extremities of what's actually going on and what happens in this movie, which is something I don't want to spoil because it'll take away the enjoyment of the film. I really recommend this movie, man. Like, I think Jordan Firstman, so this guy, he's a real life, like I said, he's a real life Instagram influencer, and he's like really gay. There's literally a scene in this movie where he spits out a dick. I'm like, God damn. Like, and it starts that way. I'm like, holy fuck. But let me just say, this movie doesn't have a lot of dicks in it. It's kind of like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre of dicks. Like, there's just like a few dicks in some scenes, but like most of the movie is actually like this thriller of a film that just kind of comes out of nowhere, but it comes in such a pace that you don't expect it, and it's something that I don't want to ruin for you. So yeah, Jordan Firstman, I'll say his performance was so good, it's definitely eligible for an Oscar. And it's so surprising for me because this movie makes fun of him so fucking hard. It makes fun of him to like a psychological level where it's like, are you cool with this? And he, like, it seems like he is because he's playing the role so fucking well. And it just seems that out of that, like, this dude Jordan, he's so open-minded, and that's something very commendable to say. A lot of respect to that person. And the reason that he was willing to give out such a good performance in this way makes this movie one of the best movies I've seen this year. Shit, one of the best movies of 2020. Like, of the 2020s. Like, if I'll go in the end of the year in 2029 or whatever, and I'll say the best movies of the 2020s, this will be up there, I'm pretty sure. I mean, we still got 8 years to go, so maybe it'll be pegged down, but as of right now, this is one of the best movies of the decade so far in the 3 years that we've had. And I really recommend it. It's in Mubi, so if you get the Mubi app and you just get a 7-day free trial, just watch the fucking movie, bro. Like, it's so good. If you're able to stomach like sexually explicit scenes involving like men on men, then like this movie's good to go for you. But if you're not, avoid the fuck out of it like the plague, because this movie is gonna go there. And I would say probably don't watch it at a public setting. Don't watch it at like a 75-inch screen TV with your family coming over, because that's gonna be a very awkward sitting. Unless your family's like extra liberal, like Get Out, Jordan Peele levels. Like, I guess you can fucking do that. I don't know. Anyway, I do recommend this movie, and I just gave you the sources to go watch it. If you have seen this movie, please tell me and put it in the comments below, and we can talk about it. And if you like this video, press a like and subscribe. All right? Love you guys.